Hi friends, I'm Sarah and welcome to Primrose Lamp Prims. For this DIY, I'm going to be using these foam dice from the Dollar Tree. Now you can find these back in the toy section. I'm going to give my dice 2 good coats of Waverly White chalk paint. Now you could use another type of paint, acrylic or whatever, but I have the chalk paint on hand. It's what I prefer. It adheres really, really well to these foam dice and it covers really well. Plus it dries fast, which is always a bonus for me because I hate having to wait for paint to dry. 2 coats of this paint will completely cover that orange. You would never even know these were orange to start with. Once your paint is dry, you want to I'm taking some Waverly Antique Wax. This is also from Walmart. And I'm just going to dry brush a light amount right around the edges because this is a farmhouse piece and farmhouse pieces tend to be distressed, older looking, and you want to pay particular attention to around the edges because when you see old things, it's usually you see them distressed around from age around the corners, around the edges. Once you have that dry, you want to take some Mod Podge to seal this. Now I'm using the matte finish and just give it a good coat, one good coat of your Mod Podge. If you don't seal this with something, then that paint will chip off of those foam dice really easy. But once it's sealed, it will stay on, it will not chip. Next, I'm going to take some twine. Now this is from Walmart, and I'm going to wrap it around my dice a couple times and tie it off in the center. If you don't like twine, you could use ribbon of your choice, but I like twine because it screams farmhouse to me. Just give it a good tie and position it there where you want it and trim off those extra edges. Next, I'm going to take this lavender sprig. This is from Walmart, and I'm just going to use my wire cutters and cut off a few pieces of it. You won't need the whole thing. I'm going to take and I'm just going to push my lavender straight down in the center of the top of my dice. These lavender sprigs, those fours push right straight down easily into this foam dice. I didn't even need to hot glue it. They just go right down secure. Once you have your lavender in place, you want to add a little bit of hot glue to the top of the dice and then add a little bit of this dried Spanish moss around your lavender to fill in the rest of the top. You can find this moss at Dollar Tree sells it or any craft store, Walmart. I love to add Spanish moss to projects, especially if it's farmhouse. It's so rustic looking and I just think it adds a really nice touch to your projects. Once you get that glued around, take your scissors and just trim off any little scragglers that are hanging out. And here you go. These are perfect to add a little bit of spring, pop them in your tiered tray, sit them on a shelf. I just love how these turn out. Hi friends, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you are, don't forget to give this video a like, maybe share it with your friends, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button over there so that you don't miss any future DIYs. And now, on to DIY number 2. For this DIY, I'm going to be recycling or upcycling these small tin cans. Now these actually came from Vienna sausages. I actually love these size cans. I will buy the Vienna sausages just to get these cans because they're perfect for crafting small items like things for tiered trays. Now I'm going to take this can and I'm going to give it 2 coats of the Waverly chalk paint in white. Always when painting on 10, watch your brush strokes because if you don't keep them all kind of going the same way, they might show through sometimes. And I'm going to cover all of this, including the bottom. Once I get my 2 coats on and they're dry, I'm going to take some Waverly Antique Wax and once again dry brush around this to give it a rustic look. Kind of like a little bit of rust showing through, some dirt, and I'm just going to lightly dry brush this around one time real good. And then I'm going to go back and see if there's anywhere I would like to add some extras, like a few spots here and there that are a little more rustic or, rusted than other spots. So a little darker spot here, lighter spot there. And just distress it until it looks good to you. Next, I'm going to take it, I'm going to seal it with some Mod Podge and matte finish. That way this paint will not have to worry about it chipping off. It'll be nice and sealed and will last. Once the Mod Podge is dry, I'm going to get my buffalo check ribbon. Now this is from Hobby Lobby. And I am going to measure around my little can and I'm going to hot glue my ribbon right around the center of my can. I love using the buffalo check for farmhouse projects. It is one of my favorites, whether it's for fall or spring or summer or even Christmas. I love using the black and white buffalo check. Some people hate it, but most people love it. So tell me what your thoughts are. Leave me a comment and let me know. Are you a big fan of the buffalo check or are you totally over it? Once I get my ribbon on, I'm going to take some twine and wrap around the center of my ribbon and tie it off. Now for this project, I am using these smaller tin cans, but you don't have to. You could use a regular size can or even a large one, just whatever you have on hand. It doesn't necessarily have to be the small ones. I'm gonna trim my little ends up here and adjust my knot so that it's straight. Once that's done, I'm just going to take a little piece of floral foam. Now this is just an extra piece left over from another project. Now I'm just going to recycle it too, and I'm going to hot glue it right down there in my can. Next, I'm going to take some lavender and boxwood. These are from Walmart. And I'm going to just cut off a couple sprigs of this and put right straight down the center. I want my lavender to go in the middle because it's going to be the tallest of my florals. And then I'm going to fill in around it with the boxwood. Now this boxwood stem, you can see I've used this on other projects. So it's missing some on one side, but you won't need the whole thing. Just take your greenery and fill in around your lavender, or if you would like another type of spring flower, whatever suits you. I just love lavender. It's one of my favorites. You will see lavender everywhere. I even use lavender shampoo. I just love lavender. I'm actually thinking of trying to grow my own lavender this summer. Have any of you ever grown lavender yourself? I've always wanted to, and then to dry it so I can actually have dried lavender to use for projects. Let me know if you've ever used it and how it turned out for you. Just keep filling it in and arranging it until it looks good to you. I even went back here. I didn't think it had quite enough lavender. I went and added just a little bit more to the center so that it's nice and full. Once I have my florals in, I'm going to take some more of the dried Spanish moss and I'm just going to hot glue it around the edge just to give it a nice finished look around the edge. Then just trim off any scragglers that are hanging there around the edges, hanging down too far. Now this is perfect for spring or summer, but to give this just a little bit of an Easter touch, I'm going to take these little wood bunny cutouts from the Dollar Tree and a bamboo skewer from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut the skewer down to a height that'll be good for my project here. I'm going to take my wood bunny and I'm just going to hot glue the skewer to the back and then pop that right down into my little floral. These are nice because you can pop them in for Easter, and then once the holiday's over, you can pull the bunny back out and continue to leave the floral out for the rest of spring or even through summer. It's just an easy way to add a little touch for a holiday, but not have to put the whole item up at the end of the holiday. Pop them in a tiered tray, shelf. Cute. For this last DIY, we are going to be upcycling these little tin cans once again, except this time we're going to give them more of a primitive faux rust finish. And to start off doing this, I'm going to give it one coat of Waverly chalk paint in the color of ink. Now for this project, I just need to do one coat. It doesn't have to be, covered great, just as long as you don't see a lot of silver coming through, because we're going to be going over the top of this, so you won't see a whole lot of the black paint. We just don't want silver showing through. Once that's dry, I'm going to take my matte finished Mod Podge and I'm going to give my can a good coat of it. Now, to make this look grungy, faux rusty, I'm going to take the cinnamon from the Dollar Tree, and while my Mod Podge is wet, I am going to just cover it. Cover my can, the Mod Podge, and the cinnamon. Tap off a little bit of the excess, but you want to cover it completely and kind of push it down in the Mod Podge just a little bit, and cover your whole can this way. Even the bottom. I love making grungy projects like this. They smell really good. Just cover your can perfectly, and once it's done, sit and let it dry. Don't have to let it dry very long and not completely, but just for a little bit so that that cinnamon sets in that Mod Podge, gets real good and sticky. After a few minutes, you want to take and you want to give this another coat of Mod Podge. And you're going to notice some of your cinnamon's going to kind of swirl around, and it's going to look kind of like a nice cinnamon paste, if you will. And you might even see, you're going to see bits of the black paint showing through here, and that's okay. That's what we're kind of going for here. You do want to make sure to take your Mod Podge and pour a little bit out on the side, because if you dip your brush after it's been in the cinnamon back in your bottle, you're going to get cinnamon in your whole bottle. And here's what it's going to look like when it's finished. You'll see it just has that nice grungy, primitive, faux rusty kind of finish. Once that is good and dry, I'm going to take my twine here from Walmart, wrap it around 2 or 3 times in the center, and tie it off in a knot. Now, since we're upcycling, we need to fill these in, and I'm just going to take a plastic shopping bag and rip it apart and use it to stuff and fill the bottom of these as a filler. Once I have that, I'm going to take some of this green dried moss. Now I just get this at the Dollar Tree, and add some hot glue in and around the top and cover the whole top with my green moss. The black and the grungy look and this green, these colors just all pop together really, really, really well. I love this color combination. Next, I'm going to take these eggs. Now, I think these I had in my craft stash, and I think they might have come from Hobby Lobby originally. I'm not even sure, but you can also get these small eggs from the Dollar Tree or Michael's or just about any craft store. I'm going to take and I'm going to arrange them in the top of my can here and hot glue them down. Next, I'm going to take and make another one of these little bunny pokes, just like I did in the previous DIY. And I'm going to just work it down in there into my filling and between the eggs. Even though there's the plastic down there, you can just push it right down in there and just use a little bit of hot glue to secure it. It'll stay put. I think these are so cute. Once I have these situated how I like, I'm going to take these little paper tags. Now these came from Amazon. You can get a whole little case of them fairly cheaply. And I'm going to take my little tag and with my fine tip Sharpie, I'm just going to write Cottontail Farms. Now I am just freehanding these, y'all, so it is not the most elegant of script, but I think that adds to the whole charm of Farmhouse and Primitive. And since this is primitive farmhousey, I want this to not look brand new, so I'm going to crumple it up, put some wrinkles in there, make it look like it's been around for a while. And then I'm going to hot glue it right next to the knot on my frame. Now, the other thing I'm going to do with these, instead of the eggs, is I'm going to take these small carrots. Now, these are ones from Dollar Tree. And these here are ones that come from Hobby Lobby. They're a little bit bigger than the ones you find at Dollar Tree. I'm going to take, and I did not get the footage of where I put the ones from the Dollar Tree in the can, and I do apologize for that. But I will show you what I do with the ones from Hobby Lobby, and it's the same idea, except the Hobby Lobby ones are bigger, so I can only arrange 2 in there, whereas with the Dollar Tree ones I can fit 3. You just want to slide them down into your can and around the moss and just hot glue them in to secure them. And once again, I'm going to take my paper tags, except this time I'm going to write canned carrots. Once again, I'm going to crumple them up, make them look older around the block, and hot glue them also right beside the knot on the front of my can. And here you go. I think these are so cute, canned carrots. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think about these. So that's it for today, friends. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, happy crafting.